Hey, we are back, and before I introduce my next guest, because I'm excited, I don't know about you, I want to shout out to everybody in the chat room. Healthy as a New Fine is in the house. Adanya, Lobetta, Mr. Kraft, and certainly Miss Jebby Garrison is in the house, so thank her for hanging out with us tonight. Now, before I go on, let me just say my next guest has over 20 years experience as a practicing astrologer. Her approach is to combine spiritual understanding with practical action. Please welcome to the show right now, this very minute, Miss Maya White. Maya, welcome.
Hi, Clark. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Very nice to be here.
It's nice to have you. I've been tickled pink, and I'm just really excited about having a real live astrologer on the show.
Well, why do you like astrology?
I have always been fascinated with the fact that although many people believe in a hope and will play it down, that it always seems to play itself out to be true to form. And I just find, I don't know a lot about it, but you know, it is always consistent, and not too many things in the world are for so long. For thousands of years, it's played itself out that way. So, and thanks to Adanya again for having you on the show. Shouts out to her, and just I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you.
What exactly for everyone out there, so that I know there's the terminology that we may know, and then there's the terminology that's the truth. What exactly is the study of astrology?
Well, that's a good question. I would say that the astrology is both a science and an art. And the scientific part of astrology is it is very mathematically based. It is based on a calculation of the observation of the movement of the planets across the sky. So the term planet actually has a core meaning of wanderer. And sure enough, the planets, even ourselves today, you can look up in the sky tonight, and if you look into the western sky, you'll see the planet Jupiter. You can see it with just with your eyes, and if you have even a set of binoculars, Jupiter is so bright right now in the western evening sky that you can see the moons of Jupiter. Actually, Jupiter has 12 or 13 moons that orbit around it. So visually, you can actually see these planets moving. And the ancient art of astrology was really, based on observation of the conditions of the sky. So, for instance, if not only did the ancients look at the planets, they would look at what's the angle of the moon, how is the moon tilted tonight, what's the color, how is it interacting with Jupiter. So
how long ago? Oh, I'm sorry. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Oh, go ahead.
Well, you've used the term ancient several times, and I'm just out of curiosity would like to know how far does ancient go back in this particular statement? Are we talking 1,000 years, 5,000 years? When exactly did someone finally say, "Hey, that's something, and we're going to call it a planet or an orb, and it has some consistency with Earth"?
I would say that roughly the measurement and, let's say, agreement of terminology that we use now probably goes back about 5,000 years.
Wow.
And probably through the Sumerian culture. So
wow.
back into the Fertile Crescent. And then just to kind of further mention how that I feel it's a blend of science and art. So there's the whole calculated scientific part of it, and then the artistry of astrology comes into, well, what does this mean that the moon is tipped and it's red, So that is the art of astrology.
So in explaining it to a novice like myself, why is it so consistent in its description? And let me astrology and the zodiac signs. Why is it so consistent in its description of our personas?
Well, I think, Clark, it goes back to perhaps to the concept of we are all one. You know, we are all individuals, but yet we are one body of humankind. We are one people as a race that is living on Earth, and then, therefore, that we are... we're like we're a synchronistic family, and thinking about the concept of as above, so below. And then you can also, if you're familiar with the work of Carl Jung, he talks a lot about, psychology of people, and that within, certain parameters, we seem to all have some of the same kind of basic parts